custom live.
Okay.
So a YouTube open aitadi kada niku
Load avutundi.
Ayyaka just keep it in pause.
Okay.
We'll start in a minute. Custom live.
Yeah. Started.
Okay, so let us start. So welcome everyone for magic meditation sessions. So my name is Sushma, if anyone is new here. So we have been discussing this book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. And last week we have discussed the law of least effort, right? So how do we put into practice this one? By first thing is by practicing acceptance. So that means today I will accept all the people, situations, circumstances, and events as they occur, right? As I accept things as they are this moment, not as I wish they were. And the second thing is, having accepted things, I will take the responsibility for my situation and for all the events that I see as a problem. Okay? So that means it means in every problem there is an opportunity in disguise. So and that will allow us to take this moment and transform into a greater benefit. And third thing is by establishing in defenselessness. So that means I will relinquish the need to defend my point of view. That means we will no longer feel to need to convince or persuade others to accept my point of view. Okay, we are open to all points of view. That doesn't mean that we don't have a point of view, but we are open to remain open to all the points of view, right? So this is what we have discussed last week, and this week we will be discussing the fifth law, that is the law of intention and desire. So the fifth spiritual law of success is the law of intention and desire. This law is based on the fact that energy and information exist everywhere in the nature. Okay? So there is a phrase from Rig Veda. I would like to read to you all. Rig Veda is one of the ancient texts known to the human mind or humankind. And this is how it goes. So in the beginning, there was a desire, which was the first seed of mind. Sages, having meditated in their hearts, have discovered by the wisdom the connection of the existent with the non-existent. So what it means is desire is the connection between the existent and non-existent, that is between unmanifested and manifested. And yet, of course, right, we have been influenced by various people, by society, throughout our lives, that desire is a bad thing. But it is not bad at all. It is the mechanics of creation itself. Desire is pure potentiality seeking manifestation. So if there is no desire, this would be the universe with only possibilities, the eternal possibility, infinite possibilities, but no manifestation. Right? In our earlier session, in one of the session on the law of karma, we have discussed that desire, memory, and karma are all linked. So therefore, the very fact that we have desire means that you are meant to be fulfilled. Right? Otherwise, it wouldn't be the part of karma software at all. Without desire, we cannot manifest anything. So, what is the law of desire and intention? It says that the inherent in every intention and desire is the mechanics of its fulfillment there itself. So, desire in the form of in the field of pure potentiality It has the infinite organizing power, infinite correlation. So when we introduce an intention in the field of pure potentiality, or in the fertile ground of pure potentiality, we put this infinite organizing power to work for us. So intent or intention is a very, very powerful force. It is more powerful than gravity, more powerful than an ocean tide, or more powerful than magnetism or electricity, because it sets into process all those things that are needed to manifest our desires. But first we must know how to put that law into effect, right? So the way desire works is, if it comes from the level of pure being, that pure potentiality, from the level of pure silence, and when you slip into that silence, you introduce the intent at that time, right? At that place, in that field of silence. And what happens there? You are remaining, your state is like self referral, right? Which means your ego is not the internal reference point there. Your real self, your divine self is a reference point there. And when your says your desires there, and then the universe will handle all the details, right? And there is lot of scientific and research or studies have backed up this as well. I mean, they call it as a physiological intelligence. So what it says is, that is a fact that in the desire itself is a mechanics of creation. So desire itself is a whole process through which everything is orchestrated. And we discussed in the book Mind to Matter. There are quite a few people here who have been there when we are discussing this book, right? We remember we learned about the synchronicity. And what is synchronicity? It is nothing but a series of meaningful coincidences. So synchronicity is when a number of things happens simultaneously in order to fulfill your intention. That is the meaningful coincidences. Many incidents all happening at the same time in order to fulfill this little intent you had. Say, for example, I wanted to tell a story. There was one person, I don't remember her name. She's from Irving, I believe. So she is very new to the meditation. Okay, and we were meeting in person, our group meditation sessions, and she was she was wondering. She was sharing her experience. Basically, what it is so she was or wanting to change a job, something she has a wish for. Okay, and she is very new to this meditation. And what happened was, it is just an intent. Okay, she has just the desire, but she did not act on it yet. But what happened was, there are so many series of coincidences happened that within a week she started that job. Okay, and she was explaining the things. How it happened was, somebody came to their house, and somebody's friend's friend, and they only asked that they have this position with this skill set, with that skill set, which exactly she fits into it. She didn't even act on it, she did not even apply, she just had that intention, and it has worked for us. And she is very new into the meditation, and she's wondering, is this really happened because I started doing meditation, or is this happened just because it's a random coincidence? She was asking us, is this really could happen with practicing meditation? Yes, it happens, because she don't know how it happened, but it happened because she started doing meditation. The reason is, she has put that intention, her desire, in that gap, right, when she's doing in the meditation. So intention and attention are the two qualities inherent, right? That means basic properties in that field of consciousness, the cosmic computer. So attention is an energy and intention is the information. So and what is this our whole world or universe is made up of? It is nothing but energy and information. So this law is based on the fact that energy and information exist everywhere in the nature. So for example, if we take a flower, a rainbow, tree, right, a grass, human body, when we broke down into their essential components, it is nothing but energy and information. The whole universe in its essential nature is the movement of energy and information. The only difference between a tree and us is the information and energy content of your respective bodies, right? At the material level, both trees, animals, us humans, we are all made up of same elements like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, or few other elements, right? Which we can buy at any hardware store, for few dollars. But the difference, therefore, between you or us and the tree is not that elements, not that like carbon, hydrogen, or oxygen. In fact, we and the tree are always constantly exchange those elements, right? Carbon and oxygen between us. So the real difference between the two here is the energy and in the information. Okay. So how do we apply this law? Okay. So you apply this law of intention and desire by first making a list of all our desires. Right? We first know what is our desires, then taking that list of desires, and we have to surrender it to that womb of creation, right? Remaining ourselves to practice the present moment. In that present moment awareness, that moment as it should be. So your intention is always for the future, okay, that is there, but your attention is in the present. Okay, I'm just telling one more time, master, this is very important, because see, your intention, right, your desires are all for the future. You are wishing it, which is okay, but your attention, right, it should be in the present. As long as your attention is in the present, then your intent for the future will manifest. Universe will take care of it, because the future is created from the present only, from this moment only, right? So for example, just we will look at the example of the parrot. It can learn to imitate the voice of the human sounds. It is not born like that, but it will learn, right? How does parrot do that? How does parrot learn to sound like a human? Just with a little intention in its little brain, which has the size of, smaller than a pea. Right? Then it sets that its intention sets into motion all the events of all the infinity space-time events, so that it can imitate human voice. And to have a human voice, we require so many things, like, our vocal cords, tongue, teeth, our cerebral cortex. I mean, it requires number of things. There is so much things going on for us a single word to come out of mouth, right? But how does that happen just with in a parrot? Just with a true intent, how can a parrot with a pea-sized brain can do that? Right? Because she has put that intention. She has that intention which drive to fulfill her desires. So even we do that all the time. For example, when we are walking from here to there, right, we have to understand the complexity involved here. Connecting, we connect with our brain, all our muscles has to relax, right? And our brain and the body has to calculate the exact amount of energy, and one leg should be in the air, one leg should be down. There so much of things going on, and if we ask any neuroscientist, or a matter of any scientist to build something like that, it is, they will go crazy. It is very complicated, right? in our body, to metabolize a small molecule of sugar by a cell requires infinite organizing power. Cell, it must immediately send orders to the first to the brain, and then to our pancreas, right? Because then it should start creating insulin. It has to produce the growth hormones, all those things, right? All the digestion enzymes. That means the whole symphony has to be orchestrated just to digest one molecule of sugar, right? And the cell is a conscious entity. So if our body cell can do it, why can't we do it? We can also do it. The totality of you is the totality of that various intelligent cells who already know how to fulfill their desires, right? So for example, any robo, if you build it right, how many programs we have to write, and how many instructions should be there, right? It will do things only if there are certain things it meets, right? If it says, if you see something, do red. If you do something, do green. But in our brain, our cells, they are very intelligent, right? They act according to what is needed there, right? Because I am not telling, if I move my hand from here to there, I am not doing all the messaging to my brain, right? It is taking care of it. How? Just my intent, I wanted to move my hand from here to there, and everything is taking care of it, right? So uh, so basically, it is like that. So when we can, because the totality of our of you is the totality of various intelligent cells who already know how to fulfill their desires. So the world out there is our extended body, right? If you are familiar with the quantum mechanical frameworks, that's right, our body does not end with our energy levels, does not end with the what we see. We have, more layers surrounding our body, more magnetic fields surrounding our body, which we even discussed in our earlier sessions in mind to matter book as well. So uh, so basically, when we let our intention there, we let cosmic mind orchestrate the infinity of space-time events that bring the outcome we intended, right? We are basically inseparably connected with the patterns of intelligence in the cosmos. We are not different from the universe, we are the part of the universe, right? So masters, let us summarize what we discussed, this law of intention and desire, right? So first thing is, what we have to do, we have to slip into that gap. So what is the gap we are talking here? That means to center yourself in that silent space between the thoughts, right? To go into that silence, the level of being which is your essential state. And when do we do that? In the meditation, right? So in that being, in that state of being, you have to release your intention and desires, right? And when you're actually in the gap, that means there are no thoughts, there is no intention. So but as you come out of the gap, at that junction, between the gaps and thought, you introduce your intention there. Okay, anything. If you have any series of goals, any career goals, any family goals, anything, you can put it there. Okay, and then you have to remain in that state of self referral. So this means that, you should establish that awareness of your true self, right? You are not referring to your ego self. Okay, and that happens automatically in the meditation. And then later, what you should do, you should relinquish your attachment to that outcome. This means that giving up your rigid or your attachment to that specific result, right? It means just you have to enjoy every moment in the journey of your life, even you don't know the outcome, right? Just universe will take care of it at the right time. right? And that means that let the universe handle the details. So your intention and desires, when we release in that gap, right, between the thoughts, have this infinite organizing power. Just trust that, just trust that organizing power of intention to orchestrate all the details for you. So remember that your true nature is one of the pure spirit. So carry that consciousness of your spirit wherever you go. Not only in the meditation, right? Wherever you go, you have to be in that awareness, right? In that pure consciousness, and then gently releasing your desires. Then universe will handle those details for you automatically. Okay. So this is about the law of intention and desire, and author is suggesting or giving us, simple steps in applying this law. Okay, so he is telling us to make few commitments in 3 steps. So I will just read what how it is written in this book. Okay, so the first one, right? So basically we will put this law of intention and desire into effect by making a commitment. What you are taking commitment? So I will make a list of all my desires. I will carry this list with me wherever I go. I will look at this list before I go into my silence and meditation. I will look at it before I go to sleep at night. I will look at it when I wake up in the morning. So basically, you are just remembering your desires, right? And so that you won't, so that you can release those desires in the meditation. And the next thing is, I will release this list of my desires and surrender it to the womb of creation. Just trusting there, right? So there is a reason. If the things don't seem to go my way, there is a reason, and that cosmic plan has designs for me much grander than events those that I have conceived. So you have to just release them, but you should not be attached to the results, right? And the third thing is, I will remind myself to practice the present moment awareness in all my actions. I will refuse to allow obstacles to consume and dissipate the quality of my attention in the present moment. So I will accept the present as it is and manifest the future through my deepest and most cherished intentions and desires. So actually, I will send these 3 steps. I will post these 3 steps so you can look at it as well. So Master, just this is about the fourth law, law of intention and desire. So anyone has any comments, questions? So anyone want to share anything? Last week also we discussed about acceptance, right? Anyone has started applying? Any challenges you see? Oh, wow, such a quiet group today. No questions.
Hi, Sushma.
Hi, Lakshmi garu. Please tell.
యా నాకు ఒక చిన్న డౌట్. మీరు ఇప్పుడు గ్యాప్ గురించి చెప్తున్నారు కదా, అది ఎలా మనం చూసుకోవాలి ఆ గ్యాప్ పోవటానికి? లైక్ డిజైర్స్ అది అనుకునేటప్పుడు.
So gap, it will not go away, Andy. So see, when we are doing the meditation, right, between the thoughts is the gap, right? So as soon as you're aware that you are in the thought, that means you're having a thought. And again, what happens is, again you start focusing on your breath, right? You will go into that gap, and after some time you realize that again you are in the thought.
ఓకే.
Right? So between those thoughts is the gap. So in that gap, that means you are connecting to the pure consciousness. You are not knowing, but you're connecting there, right? If you are more aware, you will understand it.
ఓకే.
So that gap is between the thoughts. That during that gap, you are connecting to the cosmos.
ఓకే.
So, and that time you cannot release the intent because you're already connected there. In the thought itself, when you become aware of the thoughts itself, at that time you have to release your intentions.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Thank you. So Rupa, you can stop the recording. So we will discuss if any questions.